Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very exciting day.
It's a Monday.
So,
It's nothing exciting.
today we do Prob Bob.
I'm excited.
Now, this is where things start to get hard. I will break things down as we go through. But the key to this is understanding how I like to do things. This is not to intimidate you and have you walk out of here today scared out of your mind. Today, the whole purpose of this is for you to see how bad this can get. Prob Bob is the belly of the beast, so this is as bad it's going to get for you. The reason I do this is so you know what we build to. So today's all going to be on showing you what it's like, and then after we show you what it's like, tomorrow you come in, I give you a tool, and we start from ground zero. So, something to stress to you that you are going to definitely need for like 2 weeks in this class. You're going to calculate. You're not going to do this math by yourself. You're definitely going to want to calculate. So, in order to do this, we have to create a Prob Bob. So, let's create one. Oh.
Kev Lab.
Hey, I subscribed when I saw the YouTube video.
Very cool.
I turned on the notifications too. I'm locked in.
It's a bell icon.
Oh, let's see. I mean, we got to make it hard, right? Oh, it's a good molecule we can use.
Alright, I'm done. Too many letters with lower numbers.
Sample of calcium phosphate.
You must have heard the rumor off the street that he's gone soft.
I did hear that rumor.
You know,
No.
that's the one that started it.
To see.
Everyone I've talked to has just told me to wait, and then I would take off.
How does this problem affect BC process?
Again,
Yeah, how does this affect LeBron's legacy?
a sample. Determine.
You think Mr. Hall is LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Number
He should be LeBron.
of
I
samples.
think he's a Michael Jordan.
Determine the number of formula units
But it's just the wrong answer.
But then again, I really don't know.
in the sample. All right. What you need to understand is this is going to be challenging going through this process.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. What this is called, what we're going to have to do, we call these mole conversions. There's a reason we call them mole conversions is because we have to use the concept of the mole, which you all have learned and know and understand, as the mole is the amount of substance. So we're using that concept and we're going to make this calculation. So whenever you're going to do this, the first thing you ever have to do is formulate a plan. I tell everybody, formulate a plan, get a plan together, know what you're going to do. So, let's get a plan. This ain't gonna make a lot of sense to you right now. You're literally seeing me do it so that you have something to refer to whenever you're gonna do this. So I'm gonna make a plan. What the plan is, I first have to determine where I am starting. Since I'm going to determine where I'm starting, I'm going to look at my number and the units. I have the units of kilograms. Since I have the units of kilograms, I know I'm starting at mass. I'm starting at mass, and I want to go from mass to where? So how many formula units? So now I know I'm looking for formula units. So I gotta get from mass.
This is just a reminder to teachers that Miss Endicott emailed you the daily schedule template. We need those by the end of the day from every teacher. So please make sure and send those today. You can print a copy or email me a copy, but we need those by the end of the day today.
Planned mass to formula units. Got it. Check.
So we're trying to get from mass to formula units. The problem of it is you cannot go straight from mass to formula units.
What if you ask it nicely?
You still cannot go from mass to formula units.
It'll consider it, but it's not going to do it.
You can go from mass
To formula units.
to moles,
Oh.
But then mold to formula.
and then moles to formula units. We now have a plan. We're going to go from mass to moles, from moles to formula units.
Oh, yeah.
So pieces of information that are going to be very helpful to me at this point is, from years of experience, I know that from mass to moles, I'm going to need a periodic table and the molecular mass. And then over here, from moles to formula units, I know I will need Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd formula units. Now, here's where things get fun. We got a plan, now we got to execute the plan. We're going to work the plan. Where is my number? Boom. That's where I'm starting at. So if I take said number, so 12.6 kilograms of, I might as well do it.
Is that 10 to the 25th power?
P042.
Yeah.
Set it over 1.
What?
Here's the issue.
Is that P?
Yeah, that's a P. That's fossil.
Okay. Alright.
Better?
Yeah.
Here's the issue you got. Whenever you're doing mole conversions, you cannot work with something in kilograms. So, first dead giveaway. This right here, kilograms, is a trick. Everything off the periodic table comes in grams per mole. Whenever you're going to do calculations, everything has to be like terms. In order to have like terms, they have to have the same units. Units matter. So in order to do this, we have to get kilograms into grams. So we can't even use this. Here's where things change. You're going to find something out with me real quick. I love questions inside of questions. It proves whether or not you know the concepts. This is a question inside of a question. I did not tell you you have to do a metric conversion. You have to catch it. So you remember last week? Week before that? Mr. Hawk gave you the metric prefixes. I told you we got to know them. We did some metric prefix changes. I told you once you learn it, don't forget it. This is why. This is not like other classes you had before that you do something, you quiz on it, and you're done. In this class, you do something, you quiz on it, and you remember it forever. If not, God help you, because it's probably going to be on the next one. So we have to do metric conversion. I have to get this into grams.
I think I'm going to be late for my ball.
So you should know by this point, for those of you that are just like recently new to the class that you weren't here, I apologize, I'm sorry, I will work with you as much as I possibly can. Ask me any questions you got, I'll help you,
No, you couldn't.
okay? You're not cooked, I promise you. You got in just in the nick of time. So it's 12.6 times 10 to something another, okay? So whenever we're doing this, we're finding something other, but we're going into grams of the calcium phosphate. For those of you that are new to the class and you're like, how in the world, what the world is calcium phosphate? Don't worry, none of them know either.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, explain it to me.
Calcium phosphate is a phosphate that has calcium, obviously.
Like I said, David don't know either.
He got you there.
So, kilo, here's what we're doing. We're finding the difference between the prefixes. So, find what's the same, gram and gram. We're finding the difference between kilo and the base unit. Exponential value for kilo is 3. Subtract the exponential value of the base unit, which is 0, which gives me 3. So this is 12.6 times 10 to the third power grams of calcium phosphate. Beautiful. Now we can finally do a conversion factor. So we're going to set up a conversion factor, convert this, and here's where we're at right now. So I'm going from mass and I'm going to go to moles. Where I'm going goes on the top, where I'm leaving goes on the bottom. What I'm saying is on the top we'll go 1 mole of the calcium phosphate. On the bottom we'll go grams of calcium phosphate. Which brings in the question, how many grams of calcium phosphate is in 1 mole of calcium phosphate?
That's a good question.
This is a very special number here. What that number is called is the molecular mass. This is why I made a note of it over here. You have to be able to calculate molecular mass. Here's how you do this. You take the molecule, you take the compound, you write the formula down. So I have calcium phosphate. So Ca3, parentheses PO4,
Oh, that's a
parentheses
4. I've
2.
been putting A for oh my George.
A?
Yeah, I've been putting A.
You might want to move up some.
Your handwriting's cooking us.
Getting fried.
To be fair, your P does look like a knife.
Hey, you're about to stab someone. This class is scary. Not because it's chemistry.
These kids. Here's what you're going to do. Write down each one of the elements that are present. So I have calcium, phosphorus, oxygen. Next to them, write down how many of them are present inside the compound. So calcium, for example, you see the 3, that means there's 3. Now there's a reason I chose this. Like I told you, this is belly of the beast. So I'm throwing everything at you I possibly can besides a couple tricks that'll come later once you get this, okay? Phosphorus.
4.
There's not 4.
Actually, there's 0 and then the other one is 4.
There actually is 2.
Yeah.
Oh, because 2 per. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the reason as to why we get 2. There's nothing here next to phosphorus.
There's 1.
Well, it's like in math class. When you have X, there's understood to be a 1 in front of it. Same thing here. There's a 1 there. But it's in parentheses with a 2 on the outside. Whenever you had a number on the outside of the parentheses, you distribute it in. Same thing here. That's 2 times 1 gives me 2. So oxygen, there's a 4 next to the oxygen.
So
Which means there's 8.
But there's 8 because there's a 2 on the outside of parentheses. Don't feel overwhelmed, I promise you, we'll slow this whole thing down. Now, what we have to do, have to multiply this by the average atomic mass of each one of those elements. You guys have a periodic table for me yet?
No.
Good!
Haha. Joke's on you, I got one last year.
We're wasting valuable class time here.
Whoa. Whoa.
Trust me, you're going to want this.
I think we should talk about that, maybe a football game some more interest. And then we should take 15 minutes of class on discussing that.
All right. Everybody should get the periodic table. Everybody should have it. So you can refer where I'm pulling the numbers from, and you do not think that I'm just doing magical math stuff. All right, on the periodic table I gave you. Calcium, average atomic mass of calcium. Calcium's atomic number is 20. So if you look at calcium on the periodic table, you'll see the average atomic mass is 40.08 grams per mole. Hey, did you realize that I used a special word that you know how to calculate? Average atomic mass. Does Mr. Hall like questions inside of questions?
Yeah.
You bet your bottom dollar Mr. Hall likes questions inside of questions. Do you know how to solve and calculate the average atomic mass for some isotopes?
Pretty sure.
So you think I could work up a problem that had you having to calculate the average atomic mass so that you could actually calculate the molecular mass of some compound so that you could do a mole conversion with it?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I absolutely can.
I won't be here anymore.
Just something right, the average atomic mass is the number.
Everybody is thinking right now,
Number of protons.
what happened to this class? I promise you, it looks really hard right now. We'll break it down and we build.
No, you won't.
Okay?
I'm dropping out of school. I'm done.
Phosphorus, atomic number 15. What's the average atomic mass for phosphorus?
30.97 grams per mole.
Thank you, David. Putting those units out there. So 30.97 grams per mole. Then if we go to oxygen, oxygen's atomic number is 8. It's in column 16.
Did I just?
Average atomic mass of oxygen is
16.
grams per mole. Don't forget those units, David.
I just said it, by George.
So now, throw this in the calculator.
What is this?
So for calcium, we get 120.24 grams per mole.
Oh, okay.
Phosphorus, we get 61.94 grams per mole. Oxygen, we get 128 grams per mole. Once you do that, you add all three of those together. And we will get 310.18 grams per mole. You just calculated molecular mass for calcium phosphate.
So 178 point. What's that?
That's 128.00.
128.
It's handwriting.
I'm not complaining about it.
I really think you need to move up.
If you want me to be honest, I failed the vision test on my learner's permit. They just let me keep my.
Which means you need corrective lenses to first off drive, second off be able to read the board in chemistry. Now what are we going to do with that number? Here's what we're going to do with that number. We take this number and we plug it in here. Now, you ever watch like those infomercials with like ShamWow and stuff?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. We're not done yet.
Of course not.
I feel like I'm about to be so flexible.
That's the power of Flex Seal.
Feels like Chinese water torture.
So here's the thing. You are not finished yet.
I saw this
How
how?
in the world do I know that I'm not finished
Because
yet?
we haven't converted the moles to formula units.
Because we haven't converted the moles to formula units. Thank you, David.
I'm joking.
Go back to the plan. Look, I want to make sure you get this,
Your
okay?
flex seal sucks.
Mine's the best Flex Seal out on the market. I want to make sure you get this. This right here, this plan is so important. Plan of mass to moles. That's what we just did. How do I know that? What's the unit you're left with? You're left with the moles, people.
We don't like moles.
Okay, that's good because guess what? We got to go from moles to formula units. You make the plan for a reason. Use the plan. Okay? That's to remind you of this conversation later.
Playing with them both back together.
Everybody's going to watch that later and be like, oh my gosh. Now, what are we going to do?
I don't know. Hopefully you tell me.
I got great news. I'm going to tell you.
Oh,
Here's what we do, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's set up another conversion factor. You have two choices here. Choice one.
Leave is a choice to leave.
Too late. Choice one. Okay? You could throw this in the calculator, get a number, and then do what we're getting ready to do. Or you can just wait and throw it all in the calculator all at once, which is what Mr. Hall likes to do. So this is my Prob Bob, and that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Another conversion factor.
Oh, yeah.
All fall athletes to report.
Well, too bad, too sad,
You
really.
bring, if you
It's
haven't already turned in your drug testing policy, you bring that with you. But all fall athletes report to the cafeteria.
Even if we don't have our drug test takers?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Mine will take your stuff. I don't know when you're coming back. I know they said it's going to be a quick meeting, but is it ever?
I just come back and get my stuff.
it never is.
I don't care. All right, conversion factor. So, grams, I want you to see this. Here's why I use my units. I trust my units. Grams of the calcium phosphate cancels out. I have moles of calcium phosphate left. I'm now trying to go from moles to the formula units. To do this, I'm going to have to use something called Avogadro's number. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. So, where am I going? Goes on the top. So, formula units. And the calcium phosphate. Mr. Hall didn't give himself a lot of room. Give yourself more room on your paper. Ridiculous. Where I'm leaving goes on the bottom. So what goes on the bottom? I understand. When I was in your shoes and I went through this, I was totally scared to death too. 1 mole. Calcium. Phosphate. Okay? Here's the issue we have though. What the world? What number's gonna go up on the top? Avogadro's number. So what we do, I wrote it in purple, so I'll use purple. What's hands up? Purple. So 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd formula units of calcium phosphate. Guess what happens? Moles of calcium phosphate cancel. But wait, there's more.
No.
You need a calculator. Now, tomorrow Mr. Hall is going to break it down to you. There's actually a special way to type scientific notation in your calculators. Nobody teaches you how to do this until you get to me. I don't know why. It drives me batty. I want to beat my head against the wall. So, here's what we're going to do. We type this number in, the 12.6 times 10 to the 3. We do this method for a reason. The number we start with is on the top. Any number that's in the bottom you divide by. Any number that's in the top you multiply by. Look how this works out to us. What's on the top here is a 1. Anything times 1 is itself. So I don't really need to multiply by 1, but I need to divide by 310.18. But then over here I need to multiply by the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. But I don't need to divide by the 1 because any number divided by 1 is itself. So let's type that in a calculator. And first one's divide. Now, we have our answer. We get 2.4462 times 10 to the 25th formula units. Of the calcium phosphate. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Prob mole conversion. Question.
I don't understand none of it.
Alright, here's the thing, and some of you are finished writing this and typing this in the calculator trying to get this. Here's what I want to stress to you. Do I expect you walking out of here today knowing how to do a mole conversion? No, I expect you walking out of here having no idea how to do a mole conversion. I know what you're thinking. Why in God's green earth did you do this then? Here's the reason as to why. I feel like we mess kids up all the time whenever we start you off with something easy and we keep building. I feel like kids' minds get locked into what's coming next instead of actually mastering what you're doing. So you see how complex this is. Come tomorrow, I'm going to give you a tool to help you, and then we're going to start doing this. But it's like, take Hannah for example. Whenever Hannah was first born, she was not eating steak and potatoes. That's how I'm going to treat you. We're putting you on the bottle tomorrow, but guess what's going to happen? Eventually we're going from the bottle to baby food. Then we're going to go from baby food to some solid foods. And then we're going to go from some solid foods to I'm going to be serving up steak and potatoes. Ladies and gentlemen, steak and potatoes. So, I don't want you feeling rough or feeling like you got no hope with this. You do. This is challenging. Let's see, I did this to you on purpose. We made a plan, go back to the plan!
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure you get this, okay? Make the plan. Use the plan. Don't forget.
Kate on a YouTube
We were at Mass, we now at Moles. Use the plan. Where are we going? Thank you. We go to the formula units. They all use the plan.
How you do this?
Shut up.
All right, now. We're at Moles. We gotta get the formula units. What do we need? Another conversion factor. Now, you have a choice. It's up to you what you want to do here. Okay, you can do this. I think somebody said earlier we divide. Yeah, you absolutely can hit enter on a calculator, come up with a new number, and then set up the new conversion factor. Why you want to do more work? Do less work. Set up another conversion factor. Now, where are we going? On Now everybody's loosened up. They're like, this is what I thought the class was supposed to be. I'm okay.